welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do basically like a first impression try on makeup from a indie brand, and the brand that I will be featuring and talking about today is Pinky Rose Cosmetics. And this is what the packaging looks like. It's a beautiful gold imprinted, basically gold emblem printed cover along the top and the bottom with Pinky Rose, a logo in the center of the packaging, and then on the back you have information, the ingredients, further about Pinky Rose, that is basically cruelty free, and that where you can basically buy their product. I was able to buy this palette on the ground, which means I bought it from a vendor for Pinky Rose Cosmetics. Pinky Rose Cosmetics, I have seen them in Planet Beauty, that you can buy them from their store. So basically you can buy this palette at a couple of different vendors in California, and they are based out of Sacramento, California. And this is what the inside of the packaging looks like. So you have the box, basically the cover that holds the palette. So it basically slides in like this, and that's how you store the palette, with the cover. And then to use it, you just slide out almost like a vinyl record. You just pull it out of its case, and it looks like a vinyl record. So inside this case, you have the name of the palette, which is the Transition palette. Then you have this nice, beautiful, crown, the whole logo, which I think is really nice. The packaging is very soft. It's like smooth. Basically, I think like a really smooth cardboard placement. And then inside, you have the name of the palette at the top. There's no mirror. So you have the name of the palette, the name of the company where you can purchase the palette. Then it has a slip cover that comes off. And then you have the main palette itself. It comes with a day look and night look. So over here you have more of a day look, and then over here you have colors for a night look. And the colors are all named around the spectrum, almost like a color wheel. And the colors to me really reminds me of fall, like autumn type colors. So when I was looking at the different palettes, of course I wanted all of them, but at the time I only wanted to purchase one just to try out the brand. And I apologize, I pray I don't say a lot of ums in this video. But the colors look really nice. They're very beautiful. So I will do like a swatch video of these colors, but for today I'm just going to do a eye look with them to see how they apply and to see how I like the palette. But before I go into that, I will show you, let's put it this way for me, because since I'm right-handed and I like to look at things from a right-hand point of view. You have Butterfly here, which is more of a medium tone brown, or I say beige, and it's a very neutral color, like a transition type color, or all over the lid color. Then here you have Onset, which is more of a kind of like a pinky nude brown for a transition. So it looks like you have a transition for either your night look or your day look, or however you want to wear these transitions. And then you have FlyGirl, which is a nice, almost like a chocolate brown shade. And then you have Heartless, which is a nice burgundy red shade. And then you have Thirsty, which is funny. You have Thirsty that looks like a metallic full shimmer shade. And then you have Grunge, which is a nice army green, a very dark type army green. And then you have On Fire, which looks like a rose gold with gold flecks. And then you have Blog Life, which is like a dark deep plum. So those are all the colors. So you have apparently 7 colors. Actually 8 colors. And then you have this main color in the middle for your transition, or call transition, I think is that's the name for it, right in the middle. So we're going to play, and maybe I will try that color as my transition shade to see how I like it. So I already have done my face in terms of I cleaned my face, I applied moisturizer underneath my foundation, applied a primer for my face, and I also have applied the foundation and also the primer. The primer is what I usually use, the NYX Skin Tone Primer Base. For the foundation, I use the Revlon Color Stay Whip Cream and Caramel, and then I use the primer from Maybelline, the Blur and Smooth 100 primer. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So since this palette doesn't come with a mirror, the nice thing about this palette is I'm able to bend it back, so I can sit it back on itself. So basically I will be using this palette where I'm going to lay it back, but in the future I wonder if they will eventually come out with a mirror for these type of palettes, if they're going to keep the same packaging. If it had a mirror, you'll probably be sitting like this, holding it and trying to apply your makeup. So maybe it is more easier that you can just fold it back and hold it like this, or lay it flat on your table, your vanity, wherever you have your makeup, and then just start working from there. So I am going to make some room in front of me, and we're just going to start playing and see what look I can create for myself from Pinky Rose Cosmetics. I'm so excited to be trying this palette because I look at their pictures on Instagram and I'm always amazed by the colors, the whole theme of their palettes, especially their glitter palette. I have swatched the glitter palettes in person at Planet Beauty, and they are immaculate. They're really nice, and I cannot wait to start trying this palette today. So let's get started. So I'm going to start buffing, not buffing, but I'm going to apply a transitional shade. So I'm just going to go and use this yellow color that says transition here for my transition crease shade. Or should I lay it all over my eyes and then go over it? Decisions. So I'm just thinking how I should do this. The pigment looks really, it feels really soft. And it's definitely a matte finish. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use it as a transition shade. So let's just play. I don't know how my look is going to go, so I just basically make it as I go along. So I'm going to go over my eye. Which is basically like a mustard yellow shade. Go in with some more and really buff that color in. Make sure I blend it really well. So this off the bat, it already looks like a color you really have to build up the intensity. If you're my skin tone, or I imagine if you're a darker skin tone from me, you're going to have to build this color up. Anyone who's fair skin or medium skin tone, you may not need to apply a lot of pigment to build up this yellow shade, but you definitely have to go in. And I may go in with another color to blend in with this transition. Again, I don't know how it's going to go, but we're just going to see how this works. But it is a nice yellow, I must say. It's a nice yellow, but it does require some building up of the shadow. There is no fallout, and there is minimal kick up, so when you get product you won't be losing a lot. There's just a tiny bit of kick up, not a lot. Can you all see that? Hopefully you can. And I am filming once again at night. It just feels more relaxing when I record at night. And we all know how my eyes are when it's night and it's getting close to bedtime. I don't have to talk about that. You know how that goes. But I noticed as the night went away, when I did the last video, for the sleek palette, my eyes just went from being red, because usually, like we all know, eyes turn red when you're tired, or basically letting you know your body's wearing down, it's ready to go to sleep time. I'm just going in between both eyes to make sure I have applied enough color, but I will go back in this crease, this upper crease transition, to apply another color just to give it some dimension. But yeah, as the night went by, because I was up basically doing photographs for my thumbnail, my eyes just basically cleared up and it just went away. It was no longer an issue. So sometimes it's just a period where my eyes just wants to do that, and it's like, we don't care anymore. Continue on what you're doing. So I'm gonna go in with another shade. Let's go in with this trying to think, so basically the color I just used, this mustard transition shade, is basically either it's called transition or that's just what it's generally for, is to let us know it's a transition shade. So I have to look at the other palettes to see whether that's accurate or not. If that's the name for it, or because it is the transition palette, so maybe that is the name for that mustard color. I am going to go in. Let's go in. I'm going to go in and use. I'm trying to think about where I want to take this look. Let's go in. Let's go in with Heartless. Let's just be fun with it. I don't know how this is going to go, but let's go in with this shade Heartless, which is a nice, basically like a nice maroon burgundy shade here. I hope that this look comes out. If it doesn't, I had fun doing it. So I'm going to go in with Heartless. Heartless barely has any, there's not really much kick up, which is nice. So we know that it'll basically stick, and really sticks to the brush. Look at this. So this is really good pigmentation. So I'm just going to go in and buff that. Ooh, look at that. This is going to be intense. Look at that shadow. So we want to make sure, I don't know how this is going to go in with that yellow, but I don't want to cover up that yellow completely. So I'm just going to kind of buff that in. We're just going to blend it in with that yellow. And because this color is so pigmented, it may just cover up that yellow completely, but that's not my intention to do it. I want to use as many of these shades as possible. Maybe I'll call this look the autumn leaf look. But that color is very pigmented. So we're just going to be light and just lay a gentle layer of that color and with that mustard yellow. And then I'm going to proceed with the other shades. But I don't want it to overpower the yellow. I want to show, again, some dimension, some transition in those shades. I just love playing with shadows, because you could create any look. You don't have to stick to the same old, same old. Just play around and see what you come up with. So I'm just gently massaging that on the corner. Then I'm going to move in with this shade and buff that into the transition. So basically bump that into the transition crease area. I really like how the colors blend with each other. It doesn't require a lot of build up. Like this shade only needs like one layer and it's good to go. So that is the look so far. And I'm going to also need another, I probably need another buffer. I call it buffer brush, another blending brush, but I may not. I could just clean it off in front of me, but we'll worry about that later. Let's go in with a lid color. So for the lid shade, I'm thinking about making it a green. So have some of that green merged into that burgundy Heartless, and also into that transition golden mustard color. We're just gonna create a leaf type shade. So a leaf that's barely basically has transferred itself completely into autumn. It still have some green foliage to it. So again, these shadows are very pigmented. You're gonna need a little bit. So I'm just gonna pat that into my lid. Look how pigmented it is. It's gorgeous. So I'm just gonna pat that into my lid. So far I am impressed with these shadows. I knew from looking at the Instagram for Pinky Rose Cosmetic that it would be a stellar company. The pigments are on point. And of course I'm going to go back in and blend everything together so there's no harsh lines. But there's a little bit of fallout with this green. And this green is called Grunge. So I am blending the day look shadows in with the night shadows. And the eyeshadow pigments really stick to the eye. The colors don't move around at all. But there is some fallout, but we'll just clean it up. So let me blend these colors in together. Yeah, these colors really, once they lay, they stay. They don't move. And you can see how they pretty much stay. They stay in place and they don't move. So once you be aware, once you lay down your pigments, work in quick, because once they lay, they're not moving. Which I think is a good thing, because sometimes eyeshadows move around, but with these, they stay put, so you have minimal time to work with it, because once you lay down your foundation, you're not going to have a lot of time to blend, because the colors are already making their place on your eyelids. They're taking a seat and they're sitting down. They're not going anywhere. And because I have sometimes that little crease, because of my eyelids are kind of like double eyelids, I want to make sure those colors are up in there and there's no like harsh line where there's no pigment because of the folds of the eye. So you just wanna really work with these shadows and get it in. Blend what you can because they do set quickly. Which is a true definition of a matte shadows, because mattes are supposed to stay. And I'm just going to go back in on this eyelid to make sure that the transition of this color is really smooth and there's no, and I'll go back in and blend it. So that covered the lid color. Then I'm going to take blending brush and blend in the color. Also blend in. And as you can see, some of the green has moved to the corner, but that's okay. I most likely will take that green down to the lower lash line. Got brush in my eye. So let's go in with a little bit of that yellow to try to give a little bit more dimension up here near the brow bone area. We're just going to lightly apply that yellow, taking it outward, moving inward. And I don't want to complete, I just covered up that yellow a little bit on that burgundy Heartless shade. So gotta be light with the yellow. So hopefully you all can see that so far. So now I'm gonna go in with a little bit more Heartless to touch up where I laid down that yellow. And just add a little bit, not a lot. I'm really using this blending brush multi-purpose. I done base applied 2 shades in my transition to really give dimension, and then I've used it to go back and blend in those areas. So I'm basically multitasking with this brush to give it some dimension in this area. And I like how the colors really blend. It does look like a autumn leaf, the foliage of like a maple leaf. I just want to make everything look nice and smooth. Let's add a little bit more Heartless on that corner, because I know it's a little bit more on this side, so we want to even that out. but I don't want to take away. And I don't know if you all can notice the yellow with the lighting. I don't know if you'll be able to see it just well, but it's really pretty. I keep feeling like I need to go in back and forth with the yellow transition, and also with Heartless. Base along the eyebrow bone. So we're gonna move along. I fought enough with that little area, so let me take a powder brush and kind of clean off any area underneath. And I'm just gonna leave the green where it is since it's already there. So we want to basically apply some of this green and smudge it out, because these pigments do sit in place. So I'm just gonna use a flat brush, the same shader brush, and buff that green into my lower lash line. It does make a beautiful dimension shade underneath your eye to continue that green shade that's on the lid. I'm gonna go in with with the same shade to the eye and smudge out this color. And we may have to do a little bit of cleanup, but hopefully not very much. So far, I really like these shadows. I really think they're good quality. They're heavily pigmented. They stay in place like an eyeshadow should. The only concern I have is if you're trying to blend and not really get them where they look like any lines. You want to make sure you're blending as you apply shadows. As you apply the transition, make sure you're blending. When you add that eyelid color, make sure you're blending as you go, because these shadows, they set, so you don't have a lot of time to go back later and blend away, because they really do set. But I think it's a very beautiful pigmented palette thus far that I have tried of these colors. So I'm just going to clean this area right here. And it also probably depends on your primer as well. I know with the NYX primer, it really does set your colors in place. So it also probably depends on your primer. But I don't think that is a major problem with this palette. You just have to make sure you're blending as you go, as you apply your color. Blend as you go, blend as you go. And it's not to say you can't go back and blend after you lay down everything. It just makes it a little bit easier to blend as you go. So far, I really like this look. Do you all like it? I hope you do. I really like it. I really think it really gives dimension to my eyes. I love green. This green just makes the transition of Heartless and the transition just really pop. They're really crisp. The transition is really light to my skin tone, but that's okay. It just looks very faint along that area. So we're gonna play with some inner eye color. So we will be playing with some of the full shadows that are here. So let's just play. We're gonna play with Thirsty because it has that green. I'm really curious to see how that'll look as a inner color highlight. So blowing off some of the kick up off the palette. So we're gonna go in with this shade Thirsty as an inner corner highlight and see how that apply. I don't own any Fix Plus, so I'm really hoping that the color will just lay on its own without any wetting the brush or having to grab something to be an adhesive like glitter glue. So I'm really hoping it'll just lay on its own. And it does lay on its own. Isn't that pretty? Woo! I love it when a color just comes together. And then I'm going to bring it down here a little bit. And it has this nice, like, metallic, like a nice, I don't know how to describe this color. This color is so unique. It's like a green, but almost like a sea foam type green, like a mint. And then also with this green that I already laid on here, Grunge, it probably really makes this green stand out. So I am really impressed. I'm nearsighted, even though I'm looking in my rear view, I'm just like, can I see it? But it's a little bit still hard for me to see without my glasses on. But seeing it in the mirror, yes, I am feeling this look. Woo! I love it! Just gonna apply some color here. I love this as an inner corner accent shade. And I'm sure this color will look so beautiful all over the lid as well. But we're going to leave it as the inner corner highlight for this look. And I know some people put their fingers and dab a little bit of color in the corner, but I prefer to use a brush. And I usually don't use inner corner inner colors to highlight my tear duct or inner corner. But since I'm playing, we're going to do it. We're going to make it look phenomenal. So that take care of that look. So yeah. And again, everything sets. So you don't have to worry about shadows moving. They really set. I want some more of these Pinky Rose Cosmetic palettes. I want them in my collection because I am feeling the color. It is giving me fall life. Call this autumn. Yes. I absolutely love it. So I have done my eyes for tonight. I think I should go to sleep like this. I have done my eyes for tonight. So to recap the colors that I used on my eye, I started off with Transition, which is this nice mustard yellow color here. Then I applied another Transition in the crease, this color here called Heartless, a beautiful burgundy shade. And then I went onto my eyelid, applied Grunge, which is this nice dark army green shade. And I also used this in my lower lash line color. And then I applied Thirsty to my inner corner highlight, to highlight my inner corner, my tear duct area, inner corner. This is the color I use. Again, that name is Thirsty. So I used that, and that is my eye look with Pinky Rose. I love it. This is a palette that you can blend in so many creative ways. And they have a purple one, and I think it's just 2 of these types of palettes, if I'm not mistaken. I know there's a purple one also. And it's basically, the company is ran by 3 sisters. Again, they're based here in California. Just really a really beautiful palette that they put together. I am very impressed with it. So I do recommend this palette. And the mattes and the full shadows, they really work together. So yes, I definitely love it. So let's go on. Let's apply some mascara. So should I use my Maybelline, the Falsies Push Up Angel, or should I use my Makeup Forever Smoky Extravagant? Which one should I use? The verdict is Makeup Forever. So I'm just going to use Makeup Forever. And since I'm always wearing Maybelline mascara, let's give another company some love in terms of some mascara. So this is Makeup Forever, and it again is called Smoky Extravagant. So I'm just going to apply some to my eyes. And I really like this mascara. It really adds volume to my eyes. I think there's some lengthening to it, but mostly I feel like there's volume. And the brush looks like this. So it's smaller towards the end, and it's fatter towards the base of the wand. So you probably could use like the fatter end of the brush to add volume, and the tilts for lengthening. So I'm just going to go in carefully at the bottom of my eyes. And you just want to be careful with it, because some of the colors could go back and get onto your eye area. And I hope that Pinky Rose Cosmetics also come out with liquid lipsticks. I'm not sure if they carry in it. I want to think they don't. I haven't noticed any liquid lipsticks. But if they come out with liquid lipsticks, woo! Watch out. Watch out. Because if these shadows is doing this magic, I can only imagine what those liquid lipsticks or lip glosses are gonna do. Just saying. I know it is gonna turn up. And I love, again, supporting the indie brands, the smaller companies. Because you really have some good companies out here doing some magic with their companies. So that mascara smeared a little bit, but that's okay. So yeah, I am loving it. So that takes care of my eyebrows. So we just want to, let me just take in this autumn leaf color. My hair is down because I need to wash it. So I basically took it out of the twist. So yes, I am feeling it. I'm not going to wash it tonight because it is nighttime. So tomorrow I plan to cleanse my hair. So the next thing we want to go in, let's apply some blush. Let's apply some blush to this. And if anyone is curious about the ingredients, there is mica, there's no talc. So anybody with talc sensitivity, there's no talc in the palette. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the talc right away. There is talc present in this palette. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. I just saw the first couple lists of ingredients. But yes, there is talc, and it is the third ingredient in the ingredient list for those who may have sensitivity to talc powder. But their mica is the first ingredient. And it is a cruelty-free brand for those who are looking for cruelty-free products. So for my cheeks, I want to go in and use my Kat Von D Shade and Light blush that I found at Marshall's for $6.99. And the blush is a duo. So it's basically like a two-tone blush. And the shades are Piaf+Poe, which is Kat Von D cats, and I think she has a third one too, and I'm not sure what her third cat is named, but Piaf+Poe are the name of her cats, if you can see that. So I love Kat Von D products as well, and when I come across her, like some of the other brands, like I have to get it. And last week I was in Marshall's in another city, and I came across Kat Von D's eyeshadow. I think they were either duos or trios. I want to think they were probably trios. There were these blue colors, and they were amazing. Like some of the pigment, because it was shattered, and I couldn't buy it. And I just knew if it wasn't shattered, it would have been gone. Like there was no question that palette. I'm sorry, not palette, but that eyeshadow trio, it would have been gone, because everybody knows how good Kat Von D is. Like she don't play when it comes to her makeup. I am a fan. I am a fan of anyone. You make really good makeup, I am a fan. Regardless of any controversies or anything like that, I love people who have a craft. They have a gift, a creativity, a vision for their products, their makeup. Pinky Rose has a vision for their products. They know what they want their vision to be for their customers, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that they have opened their palettes and their other beauty products available on the ground. So if you are someone who may not prefer to order online, you can buy them at a Planet Beauty if you have a Planet Beauty in your neighborhood. So I really like that. So this is what the packaging looks like. Like a nice, you know, Kat Von D. And this is what the shades looks like. You can see that. So I'm just going to blend, swirl the colors in together. So I love when I run into brands. And actually Planet Beauty has launched a lot of, I would say, indie makeup. I've seen Sugar Peel. I've seen Morphe. I've seen Lime Crime Cosmetics. And there's another company that I see a lot on Hot Look, and I can't think of the name right now. If I remember, I'll put it in the description box. But oh, and my brushes that I've been using are BH Cosmetic brushes from the Rose Gold brush set. I'm just getting so lost in my thoughts about the brands that they carry. So the Planet Beauties are definitely, they're also coming up with those palettes that everybody goes gaga over. The companies with those eyeshadows that we can't get enough of, they are coming with it. And I think I also see some high-end in Planet Beauty. So I'm applying the blush. And this brush does have like an angle to the brush, so it could get right up into your cheeks like if you was contouring. But I'm not doing any contouring. I'm applying brush so it can kind of hug. And I've been watching videos. Some people say to sweep the color across your cheeks like this. To just sweep it across your cheeks. But I usually blend it like this. So everyone has their preference how they like to wear their products. So I'm just gonna do that sweep. It feels gentle when you do it like that. So if you don't want to go, especially if like you have a blush that may be very pigmented and you just want to lightly go across your cheekbones, this is a good technique to apply. So hopefully you all can see that flusher color on my cheek. So it's not this particular blush, two-tone blush from Kat Von D is not extremely pigmented on my skin tone. It just gives that nice flush of color. So it's very gentle, almost like I'm not wearing anything on my cheeks. So that is that. So again, thank you Kat Von D for that beautiful blushes. Hopefully you come up with more blush duos like this, because I really do like the one that I own. So we have applied that, and next I want to do is to top off like a little light highlight over my cheekbone. So we're going to go in with Copper. Now this is supposed to be used as a bronzer. This is from City Color Cosmetics, and it's called Sunlight Bronzer. And it is in copper. You can see that. And this is what the shade looks like. If it zooms in for you. And I'm just going to swatch it. I'm just going to swatch it across my wrist to show you the intensity of it. And again, I don't know if City Color Cosmetics still has this bronzer, but I'm going to treat it like a highlight. So if you all can see that, it's a really beautiful copper shade. Definitely beautiful for women of color. So I'm just gonna take some and kind of like gently, I see some color I need to sweep off. So I got some color on my nose from this shadow. We're going to clean it off before we apply. So I'm just going to gently go over my cheeks in this area. See how intense that is? You only need a little bit. In fact, this looks more like a highlighter than it does a bronzer, because I imagine bronzer are usually like matte, cool tone, or a little bit warm tone bronzers. This, the mica, the shimmer in it looks more like a highlight to me. So I'm just going to use my fingers, no brush. I was going to use a brush, but I'm just going to tap my fingers into it to kind of blend it in with my blush. Just like that. So it's very soft. It's noticeable, but it's not overly intense. And we're going to go over to the next cheek and do the same thing. You only need a little bit. You don't need a lot. And we're going to gently buff that in. So you can see just a little bit of a highlight, not a lot. We just want to keep it very soft. The star of the show is this eye look. So we don't want any blinded highlight going on with this look. So, especially when you're trying to have, I think, just my preference, especially when you're trying to have a look, an eye look that's supposed to stand out as your main attraction on your face, you probably do want to go in very lightly with your highlight, so it's there but it's not overpowering to take away from your eye look. So let's go in. I'm just going to go in with a little bit more brush and touch up and maybe warm up a little bit of my nose area and around my hairline. I do sometimes put blush in that area like it's a bronzer. So I'm just going to do that because I forgot to do that and I intended to do that. So I'm just going to take a little bit of color, kind of like buff it down my nose. Just add a little bit of warmth there from the blush. You won't notice a lot because, again, this color blends very well to my skin tone. So just go very lightly. I don't know if any of you all do that too. You just add a little pop of color of your blush along the temples of your skin, just a little bit, not a lot, just to warm the face a little bit. I know that's what the bronzer is supposed to do, but if you have a nice blush, you can also do that as well. So that completes majority of my face look. So the last thing we need to do is the lips. So I am going to be using LA Splash Cosmetics Untamed in 14202. So this is what it looks like. It's a nice like brown. It's like a nice brown, like a red brown type color. So this is what it looks like, the packaging. And I really like LA Splash Cosmetic liquid lipstick. I do think they are one of the matte liquid lipstick that really stays on your lips and it's not going anywhere, like it stays put. So it's like a nice, almost like a nice red brown, deep red brown color. Almost on the verge of wine color. Probably not so much wine, but more like, almost like a dark cherry red or almost like a milk chocolate, but it's more red base. So that's what the color looks like so far. It's definitely a vampy, like a vampy type shade without going completely vamp, like dark purples type shade. And I like the wand because you can line your lips before you fill it in. But I don't really, I'm kind of going on the outskirts of my lips. Without going, not completely in. And this color dies down, not dies down, but dries down really quick. Yeah, anytime you have mattes, especially mattes that are true mattes, you don't have a lot of time to play with them. You got to move fast. So basically that's what the color looks like. Yes. So of course I stuck to the theme of keeping that autumn leaf type thing going, that fall look. And that is my completed look. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. I know that it's long and I will provide time stamps for anyone who wish not to watch the full video and just want to see certain parts of it. But it is a really nice video to just have a good time and relax to. Again, I always love to put on makeup because I find that putting on makeup is just so relaxing. And even though with this look and it's nighttime, it's almost time to go to bed, I have nowhere to go. It's fun to record this for you all to see. And again, I'm showing love for my small companies that are out there, makeup companies. So my verdict for this Pinky Rose Cosmetic is a 100% yay. I definitely love this palette. I can't wait to play with other colors in this palette. I do recommend it to anyone who is thinking about purchasing from Pinky Rose Cosmetics. And if you can find it in your Planet Beauty, if you have one in your city or your town, definitely check it out. And if you're still on the fence, just go in to Planet Beauty or call your local Planet Beauty. Ask them if they have the Pinky Rose Cosmetic line, and that way you can go in and basically check it out and see how you like it. So you can go and swatch and make your verdict. But again, you're gonna love it. Like, there's no way you're gonna walk away, swatch these colors, and be like you're not gonna leave with one or two or all the palettes if you have it like that, because it is a really good. I know this is a first impression try on video, which a lot of my videos are. I just like doing that. I know a lot of people want to try it on and get really good feedback how long it wears. Maybe you can see with other YouTubers and who have reviewed this palette, see if they're wore it for a longer period of time, to see what their verdict is about the eyeshadows and its wear time. But I saw how during my applications of applying the shadows, they stuck. Like, they stuck to that primer, it stuck to my eyelids, and seriously, it wasn't going anywhere. So I can't imagine these shadows wearing off longer or shorter than an 8-hour period. I just don't see that. In fact, you were to go fall asleep with your pajamas on and wake up the next morning, they're probably still sitting there in place and not move. Because again, when you apply them, at least for me, when I applied it to my eye, they immediately took a seat and just stayed there. Didn't get up and move around, jump around my face. The green kind of like smudged down into my lower lash line, kind of moved a little bit. So I just went on, just kept it green all the way around. So that's normal with any eyeshadow color that you're applying to your eyelid and you're moving it to the corner, your outer crease. Sometimes those colors will move downward into the lower lash line, so that's not anything as a major hiccup. That's just the way shadows are, especially the shape of your eyes. And if they're is able to move and just stay where it is, or if it's just going to move and get down into that area. But most shadows, when I apply it to my outer crease, does move down to my lower lash line. That's just how the shape of my eyes are. So again, thank you for watching so much and chilling with me and having a great time. I hope you like this video. Again, continue to come see my channel. Those of you who are new to my channel, who have subscribed, thank you so much for checking out my channel. I really appreciate you.